When considering cleaning your respirator, make sure to refer to the manuals for your respirator. In general, you can use soap and water to clean the respirator as per the CDC guidelines here, but do make sure to refer to your manual and remove the filter media before doing any cleaning. Alright, so this is the equipment I'll be using today. This is a GVS SPR 644 valveless P100 respirator. There's a smaller version called the 643. Here I'm removing the guard, the mesh guard on top, to reveal the two dirty filters. I've been using them for a few months now. They're getting clogged with dust and particles, as you can see right here in the close-up. A little hard to see, it's a little blurry, but there you go, right there. So it's dirty, harder to breathe through because it's clogged and starting to smell. So it's time to give it a clean. So I've removed the two filters, and now I'm putting some dish soap into a bucket, and I'm going to clean the elastomeric part of my elastomeric respirator. So it's the rubber kind of material that the soft rubber material that makes up most of the respirator here. So I don't have filters in there now. The elastics are off, the guard is off. It's just the plastic lugs and the plastic central cover for where the exhalation valve is in other versions of this mask. So I'm just using soap and water, going in all the little crevices, the nooks and crannies, and I'll give it a good rinse afterwards as well. Okay, so swirling it around, making sure that everything is clean. I'm not using any tools, just my fingers. I don't want to tear the elastomeric material. I'm being gentle as I'm doing this. You don't want to damage anything, and you also want to inspect for cracks. Over time, the elastomer can become brittle. It can become hard, and so you want to test for that. So using your fingers is good to probe in there and to make sure that it's all good. So now I'm rinsing it off. I don't want to have any soap left over. I want to make sure that it is soap free after I start using it again. So give it a good rinse after you're done. Okay, and then afterwards I let it dry for a long period of time. So I put it on a fan and made sure that there was no water left in here, because you don't want your new filters to have water in them. Okay. Once the washed mask is dry, and make sure it is dry, that there's no water in the nooks and crannies, make sure it's completely dry, it's time to insert the new filters. Alright, so I'm going to open up the bag. I ordered this online. It's a P100 pair. Comes with instructions. Alright, and we can see that there's supposed to be writing on one side of the filter. That writing goes on the inside of the mask, but it's not clear from the instructions that that's the case. So I'm going to pull the SPR 643 mask that I have, that I've never changed the filters on because I don't really use it, to verify that the writing for the filter goes on the inside part of the mask. The other thing to note is the outside of the mask is a little bit wider than the inside part, and there's a channel that separates the two, and it's the channel that you want to catch inside of the edge of the respirator main section. All right. So here we go. We can see that on the 643, the writing is on the inside of the filter, or the inside part of the mask. The writing on the filter is on the inside part of the mask, and there's a little notch on the outside of the purple filter edge that goes on the outside of the respirator. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. So it's kind of a pear-shaped filter. The bottom of the pear, the wider part of it, is also at the bottom of the mask itself. That's where that notch is that you can see. So the visual cue as to the direction. So the hole is asymmetric. You can see the top of the mask is at the top of the screen. I'm inserting it so the widest part of the filter is on the bottom and on the outside. I'm making sure that it catches inside of that channel all the way around. And we're going to check that with a flashlight on my cell phone later on. There's that cell phone. So a trick I discovered online about checking the intactness of your filter replacement is to use a flashlight from the inside. And here I'm going to, on purpose, remove part of the filter from the respirator to show that light shines through. That's what you're looking for. Okay, to make sure that that's not actually the case. You want to make sure that light doesn't escape along the edges of your filter. So now I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to make sure that it fits inside of that channel, inside of that groove. I'm going to run my flashlight all the way around from the inside looking for gaps. I don't want to see any gaps. I'll see light coming through the filter. That's a good thing. I'll see light coming through the plastic. That's fine. But I don't want to see anything coming out of the edges of the filter. So where the filter meets the rest of the mask, I don't want to see any light coming through. All right, and then eventually I'll put the mesh on. So that's one of the things that you want to do, is you want to make sure that you go all the way around the mask and make sure that there's no gaps. Next up, we turn the clip like that. And we do that again. Now, I actually did that the flashlight test a couple of times. I didn't include that in the video just to keep the video short, but I did a more thorough job earlier when I was doing the recording. Make sure you do this as thorough a job as you can. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. This time with the guard on. So in the recording of this video, I did it 3 or 4 times. So you're looking for any possible gaps. We're looking good. Finally, I'm going to do a user seal check by placing my hands over the filters, sucking in and blowing out relatively hard, and making sure that I don't have air escape through the top of my nose bridge and the mask, or between my mask and the cheeks, or the mask and my chin. Finally, this is not a workplace health and safety video. When in doubt, consult an expert.